welcome everybody today to Christian Hanna, and today we're going to be doing a cool review on the new Paranormal Activity Next of Kin. But I brought some buddies with me. I've got the beautiful and talented Daniel Shine from Fleshman Features. Dan, what's up, man?
Nothing much. I appreciate the introduction. I'd like to think that I am beautiful and talented, so that's good. Yeah,
and of
people
course,
like you.
and of course, below. In a time machine from it looks like 82 or something. Jay Stingray, what's up, brother?
What's up, man? Thanks for having me on.
Oh, absolutely. I feel like I've got some. Do I have some Paranormal Activity franchise fans in the house tonight?
I am definitely.
Yeah.
So. How
about this? So we're going to talk about Paranormal Activity Next of Kin, but I want to ask you guys. Do you have any? I recently went through my set a while back. Do you guys have any standouts from the series at all? Any favorite entries?
Original's the best one, and I like marked ones.
The marked ones, and that was the one with the. Was that the two Latino boys in California?
Yes.
That one did. That was the first time I felt like they did something different with the series.
Yeah. They had to. Yeah. Because I think it was 4, was pretty bad. The one with the witches.
The witches. Yeah, that was the little blonde girl, and she had the boyfriend, and they were doing something with the Xbox Connect or something.
Yeah.
What about you, Jay? Got any standouts from the series?
I really like 2 and 3, honestly. Like the one where it shows the sister and her family, Katie's sister, and then the next movie them as kids. Kind of a stretch to have, put a VHS on an oscillating fan, but suspension of disbelief.
I myself was a big fan of 1, 3, and the marked ones. I can get enjoyment out of the majority. But how about this? Before we get into Next of Kin, let's kind of retread a little bit. So where did we end off with this series? It looked like it was not the marked one, Ghost Dimension.
Yeah.
And do you guys remember much about that one? Because they certainly tried to do some new things with it, and maybe it was just played out at that point. What do you guys think about Ghost Dimension?
I think it was kind of dead in the water at that point. I mean, what was that, number 6, right? So
yeah, 6.
Yeah, that's a long time. You have to do something different because you can't. When I heard a while back that I actually thought this was going to be a remake of Paranormal Activity. That seemed to be what everybody was saying. And I was like, I don't really see the purpose in remaking it, and just telling that same story again. Whether you like it or not, I think the original is perfect for what it is. And I think Jay's an even bigger fan than I am of this franchise, but
I'm a pretty big fan. Yeah. I mean, I like all the films. I think the Ghost Dimension is probably the weakest in the entire franchise, including this film.
Well, let's talk real quick about one thing. In you guys' opinion, what made this series successful, and what made it work, and what do we think deviated from that as the series went on?
I think you have to get more into the fantastic realm after a while. The first one was just simple but effective, and it always really blew my mind that we didn't get that massive wave of found footage movies after Blair Witch. Of course, technology was a little bit different at that time. Video cameras were different. Now, of course, everybody has a camera in their pocket. But yeah, I think that thing, it just tapped into everybody's imagination and really terrified them. I am not particularly afraid of ghosts or the paranormal. I'm fascinated by it. So I don't know if it had the same power over me that it did with some people, but I know plenty of people that will consider it one of the top 2 or 3 scariest movies ever made. It's a very common thing with horror fans.
Right. Jay?
I'm kind of the opposite of you there, Dan, because I actually am like really scared of paranormal stuff. So it's that extra element for me. I like to be scared, and these movies, do a pretty good job of it. And I think they really like. It sounds kind of stupid for a found footage, but I think the writing was actually really good in those first few installments. The way they tied the movies together, and because you just look at the original movie. Spoilers for Paranormal Activity, but you know how it ends, and it just kind of just ends, and then they continue off on that, and even go before that movie took place in the second movie. So, I mean, I think they did a good job with that. And then going back with them as kids, and then tying in the witch stuff. I think it works. It works for me at least.
Did you guys get some theater experiences out of this? I think I saw everyone except the Ghost Dimension in theaters.
I don't think it went to theaters. Did
It
it?
may not have.
I don't think it went near me.
It was in and out. I don't think it was even a completely wide release, if I remember. I saw it, and I think I saw it with like 4 other people, which is crazy because all the other movies were, pretty much sellouts. Yeah, there was fatigue by the time Ghost Dimension came along. It felt like, it's like when you're just getting to a point where you're trying to be Poltergeist, you're so far away from that, from where it started. I don't know. That one was pretty bad.
Yeah, it was fairly weak. I respect that they tried to do some stuff, but sometimes when you just keep pulling that curtain back farther and farther, it's just like, you know what? I don't think I want to see this.
I like in this film that it's somewhere else. It's completely different story, and I know we'll get into it, but I think that really benefits this film. Just fresh, fresh start, fresh, origin story, everything. It doesn't involve the house in California or any of those people.
Yep.
And that's I think the right direction to go with the franchise, honestly.
Doesn't have to be called Paranormal Activity for that matter. Really.
Right.
I mean,
well, this is Paramount, so it should be no. It's like they claim they're embarrassed about Friday the 13th, and they did the things that they did and kept pumping them out. Well, Paramount picked up Paranormal Activity, and guess what? They shot them out like a bazooka. But dude, it was fun going to the theater every year just to get some popcorn entertainment.
Absolutely.
Yeah, same thing with Saw. Like, I have my issues at a certain point with that series, but it is damn nice knowing you have that tradition of every Halloween you got a Saw.
I like that, man. Yeah, I like knowing that's going to be available is fun for me.
Yeah. So let me ask you guys this. I think this is an important distinction to make. These are found footage movies. So when you guys heard the rumblings about Paranormal Activity Next of Kin was coming out, do you think there's a certain way you should really approach these kinds of movies? I mean, I'm sure you guys don't. I'm sure, Dan, you didn't approach this the same way you approached Last Night in Soho or Dune, right? I mean, you kind of were just looking for entertainment. Is that fair?
Yeah, expectations always depend on the movie. I don't expect Sharknado 7 to, be Dune. Different expectations for sure.
Jay, the same with you, or?
I mean, I would have loved to have seen this on the big screen, honestly. Like, I think that really adds to these films.
The dark theater, enjoy them. Yeah, dark theater absolutely does.
Do you guys remember when the first film came out? It was a huge success. There was rumors that they had some sort of like subsonic, like speakers in there that they could hit certain notes to make people scared. Almost like the brown noise, but like, to make you scared.
I've read about that, but I can't recall if I have ever experienced that, but maybe it's subconscious. Is that what you're trying to get at, or?
Yeah, I don't think it's true, but I mean, there were people that were so freaked out. They're like, there was something that made me scared,
Yeah.
So I just thought that was interesting.
All right, well, let's set up just a bit of a plot for this movie, and then we'll get into it. So, our Margot and her cameraman friend Chris want to make a documentary about Margot's past. Her mother, Sarah, abandoned outside a hospital. The security footage of Margot's mother abandoning her disturbs her to this day. And in the movie, we see what looked to be somewhere around 1997, and it's a woman just dropping a baby off right by not even in the hospital, just the sliding glass door. She dropped the kid off right past the doors. She wonders what made Sarah make this drastic decision. In the present, she meets her blood relative Samuel, who through a genetics site discovered that he has a living relative. Soon after, they are joined by Dale, who will be the sound man for their documentary they're filming. Samuel leads them to the small Amish community of Byler Farm. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I forgot. Where Margot's mother came from. And that's where we'll stop with the plot. we'll keep it somewhat spoiler free, but if we get into spoilers,
Oh man.
I'll let you guys know. But we kind of need to. But opening thoughts, Dan, when you were watching this movie, was it suitable? Were you having a good time with it? Were you checked out fairly early? Where were you at with Next of Kin?
I love the setup. I think Amish country is a really compelling place to set any kind of horror story. Uh, I've spent some time in Pennsylvania. I used to go to like the Amish markets all the time, so that culture's always been particularly interesting to me, especially seeing them like ride around on motorcycles. I guess I wasn't near the
Yeah.
traditional Amish guys, but yeah, so I thought that was really cool. It set it apart from the other films, which at this point is important. You don't want to
Right.
retread that same ground.
Mhm.
So I really did enjoy that. I have one big rule with found footage movies, and probably more than half break the rule, and that is I need to believe why you would still be filming at a certain point. And this does break that pretty hard.
Well,
I know some people
Yeah.
can forgive it easily. I understand that. It's just for me, it's like, no, that camera is gone.
Oh,
yeah.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And there are some good ones that manage to have it make sense. I always throw out Hate Crime. That's a rougher movie than Paranormal Activity, but that kind of they did a pretty good job of having that make sense.
Right.
Here, that does get me. I will say this goes directions that you would not necessarily
Yeah.
expect, and it's a
Mhm.
pretty action-packed finale for sure.
Oh
Yeah.
man. Yeah. That ending. Oh,
Yeah.
perfect.
Yeah. I would probably agree with you, Dan. And it's funny when you mentioned that, the need to stop filming or the need to keep filming. I think, would you agree that Paranormal Activity the first one probably handled that pretty damn well with
Yeah.
knowing when to start and stop filming?
Yep.
Yeah. That's something I subconsciously have thought about a lot. Maybe not said out loud to myself, but yeah, that's a great de facto to think about when watching found footage movies. I was entertained enough. I told myself, I was like, you know, if this can spiral and just be middle of the pack for me and just get me through without, wanting to look at my phone or whatever, I'm gonna be fairly happy. And for the most part, I think I was the fresh, perspective of roots and family members and going to the Amish. Honestly, going to the Amish land was about the scariest thing to me because I was like, dude, those suckers, they don't even pump gas or nothing, right?
Right.
No.
Jay, what about you when you were watching this movie? Were you sucked in from the first few minutes or?
No, not from the first. I would say it took a little while. I like the setting. I like the setup, but it's kind of slow before it, really picked up, and that's
Mhm.
that's fine. That's just how it is sometimes. But yeah, it took me a little bit to get into it.
Mhm. And before we get into the spoilers, how about we'll do this right now? We'll kind of just wrap up initial thoughts on the movie, where you think it kind of falls in the pack, and then we're going to talk about all the nitty gritty after this. Jay, we'll go back to you real quick. Where do you think Next of Kin? What do you think Next of Kin does right, and where do you think it kind of lands in the fold of the Paranormal Activity movies?
Um, I don't know. I just think it's a great movie. I love the ending. Like I was saying earlier, it's all new, it's all fresh. New characters, new faces. It tells a story that we haven't seen before. So I thought that was interesting. It, as far as where it falls, definitely probably not. I mean, maybe around 4 or 5, something like that. So I
Okay,
like it more than a few of the films.
Dan, what about you?
Well, it's absolutely better than Ghost Dimension.
Mhm.
I think purists, going back to that original, we're very far away from that.
Yeah.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
I liked this film, but I think if you're a die-hard fan, you're gonna like it a lot more than me.
Mhm.
In that finale, I would have liked to have seen a lot more,
It was
actually
awesome.
there, because yeah, that was really good. I didn't jive with the humor in this one. I thought there were a few moments
that
where I was like, you're kind of
the
killing the tension, like
the sound guy, right? He had a lot of like weird,
yeah.
attempts at humor.
And some people may laugh their asses off at it. I mean, he's name dropping TikTok, and then there were a couple get bits where I was like, it's a little too
Yeah.
goofy for me.
Yeah.
Doesn't
Yeah.
work. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have major complaints about this movie. Like I said, I had fun, and by the time you get to the end, hey, it's balls to the wall. It's
Mhm.
probably one of the more. I mean, Ghost Dimension. I know tried to do a big effect show at the end, if memory serves, but this
They did.
had a much
Yeah.
better finale. But it's not the original. The fear is not what it should be. But again, hey, this was meant to go to theaters, and that theatrical experience for movies like this is just huge.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
and an
wonder
audience
why.
too.
Why did they choose to do it like that? I mean, I know, COVID
Pro-
and everything, but
it might be a great way to launch their Paramount Plus app,
yeah.
which I'll be honest with you, man. I did by the way, guys, you can do a free 7-day trial if you want to watch Paramount Plus, and I was doing the 7-day free trial, and I'll be honest with you, it actually looks like a pretty decent. It might replace my Hulu for me. It looks like a
There's a
pretty
ton of stuff
decent.
on there. A ton of
Yeah.
television stuff too.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna give it. Oh, by the way, there looks to be some kind of Paranormal Activity, Crystal Lake Memories documentary on there.
Yeah.
I gotta watch.
I haven't watched it either, but I'm going to. Yeah.
I got about. I had to finish up, but I got about 30 or 40 minutes into it, and it is actually
good?
really good. Yeah,
Oh,
even
cool.
if you like a good doc, even if you're not a huge fan, you'll still. It's a good listen.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, I'll just sum up real quick, and we'll get into the spoilers. I would say I probably like it certainly more than Ghost Dimension. I would probably kick it a little bit over 4, and somewhere around there. So, like I said, it kind of spiraled for me, which not spiraled in a bad way. Spiraled is in the equivalent of the Chris Rock Saw movie. Just kind of, falls somewhere. Respectable entry. I was entertained enough, man. I thought one of the pluses I really liked was the Amish community setting. That house was very creepy. The candlelit dinner scenes kind of amped up the creep factor with the family. The kids singing while they're at the dinner table, and then they start banging on the table. I'm like, man, what the hell is going on with these crazy ass people? You know what I mean? So I think I agree with the ending, and we'll start getting into it. But yes, guys, definitely, I would say, you got nothing to lose if you can do a 7-day free trial with Paramount Plus. I'd say go for it, man. And then there's some cool stuff on the app, so you really can't lose it. It doesn't cost you anything to try it. You can cancel it. So I think if you're a fan of Paranormal Activity, I don't think you'll be that disappointed with it. I think it's entertaining. It's entertaining enough. So, and that's all I can really ask from this series at this point. It's kind of like, what the hell? Go for it. But I commend doing something different.
I think
anything
we'll
else?
see a TV series. I think it's a very easy thing for them to take that title and make. I think maybe they'll make this their creep show. I'll even
Like an
call
anthology.
that.
An anthology.
Yeah,
type thing.
why not?
I'd watch it.
Found footage anthology series. They might drop the
Well,
found footage. I don't know, but be interesting.
Real quick, the lead actress, man, I think her name Emily Bader, if that's how you say it. She looks so much like Allison Brie to me. It's startling.
Yeah.
Like, it is crazy, man.
Yeah, she does look like kind of a little sister version.
Yeah. Younger, of course, but
yeah.
Yeah. So let's get into the spoilers. I'll start with a scene I like. We could talk about certain scenes we liked, and obviously the ending, which I think we're all in agreement that probably a pretty ballsy ending. The scene where they get into the back barn and they find the well hole, that deep hole. I don't know.
That was in the church, right?
The church, excuse me. I'm sorry. At the church, yeah. I like that scene. I kept telling myself, I think there was something a little bit better we could have done there, but I can't decide what it would have been. I just know that I was left a tad underwhelmed with the resolve of when she got down in there. Am I right?
The balls on that girl to do that, man. Like, there's this shoddy equipment by these people that they don't have electricity, so who knows if this shit works.
Yeah, some
what's
fishing
down
cord,
there,
some fishing cord on the lanyard.
Yeah.
This guy wouldn't do that for sure.
The descension looked great because it looked pitch black, and then all of a sudden you could see the ground surface, and I was like, oh shit. and I was happy for them to get down there.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to decide what I think they could have done better right there. I just know I felt a tad underwhelmed with the resolve of when she got down there and pull me back up. I don't
Yeah.
know.
We needed to linger in the dark a little bit longer, I think,
Yeah,
and
I can agree
yeah,
with that.
get some
It, it
maximize your scares.
it threw out enough curiosity for me though. I was like, what's going on with that? What's down there?
Yeah. There were moments that made me wish I liked it a little bit more than I did, but uh yeah, towards the end there, it almost made me think of although I do really like this movie, As Above, So Below,
Oh,
where they were that close. I want to call it like a classic, but it's just not
I
quite,
know.
doesn't quite get there. Um but yeah, the finale really elevated it, to be honest. The
Mhm.
finale really, I think, elevated it. And this is gonna split fans, I think. I haven't really looked at any other reviews or anything yet, but I think this is gonna be right down the middle. Kind of like marked ones. I'm in the liked it camp because they had to do something different at
Yeah,
that point.
I thought those kids were extremely fun to watch in that movie.
yeah.
They're
Yeah.
back and forth. They were entertaining. Yeah, the finale of this movie was freaking awesome, man. When they were driving away outside and you just see them all losing their minds. I mean,
Yeah.
what were you guys
Well,
thinking seeing this?
I wanted more. That was
well,
the
it's
thing.
I mean, it's a solid probably 10 minutes there where it's just tension, pedal to the metal the whole way,
Yeah.
Mhm.
because they got to go down there. See who's in the hole. I forget. I know is she down in the hole? Yeah, and then the boyfriend or whatever, the camera guy goes and gets her, and then
Mhm.
sends her up. The sound guy pulls her up, and then has to pull himself up or pull him up, and that's when the monster comes out. and
And was that was her mom, Sarah, one of those, almost castle freak looking people?
Mhm.
I mean, that's what
I think that
initially came
was
to
her,
mind.
wasn't it? Wasn't
That
She
she
was
kept
Sarah
her.
down
saying
in the
she
hole?
kept saying, "Sarah, mom, mom." Like, and
Yeah,
I was like,
that was
"Oh
her.
my god, look at this broad. She's freaky looking."
She's been ridden hard and put to bed wet, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, I just thought that the visuals of the movie, got better and better as we went along, and sometimes it's nice to see a movie that just builds and builds. I guess I don't know if slow burn would be the term to call this. Maybe so.
Yeah,
I think that's be a fair way thing to call it. But I was happy with the casting of this movie too. I thought that the father of the family with the long white hair, man, he
Yeah.
was creepy.
yeah.
I thought the Amish
Yeah.
people did a great job. There was one moment where the old woman, I guess she was the grandma, there was a moment where one of the kids were saying something and you get a shot of her from across the house and she gave this, "You need to stop." And it was like the shadow hit her face. Oh man, she reminded me of the witch from Hansel and Gretel. Just creepy looking face.
Oh, you remember when she was like peeling carrots and was peeling her thumb?
She peeled.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh man, yeah, that got me.
I got M. Night Shyamalan vibes from that so bad for some reason, like something from the movie The Visit. I don't know why. I guess
Yeah.
because of the sundowner grandma. Not a bad thing, but I was like, this is giving me M. Night vibes for a second.
Yeah. Dark and the Wicked too. There was some
Dark of the
stuff there.
Wicked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a great movie.
So
Yeah.
yeah, definitely the ending elevated it a lot. I'm wondering where they could go next. I'll be honest with you. I did not see was that the guy that she meets in the beginning. That's the cousin, right? Was it the cousin of Sarah?
The one that tracked her
Um,
down, right? The one,
Y-
yeah,
yeah.
Yeah, I think he was. Yeah, he
a
was the cousin, right?
a
Yeah,
blood
not brother.
relative at the very
Yeah.
least. We know that, but
Well,
I
Yeah.
love him driving away in the cop car at the end. Man, I was like, where the
oh,
hell's he going?
love it.
Where is he
Love it.
going? Oh my god!
I love bleak endings like that, man. Like
I think
world's ending. Okay,
Yeah,
Armageddon. Here we
it's
go.
all over.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
I wonder if there's any way you can tie this into the other movies because it is very standalone. You could watch this having never seen a Paranormal Activity and you're fine. But
that's
I
a good
wonder if there's a
distinction to
way.
make as well. That we should have mentioned that. Like, yeah, I
Yeah.
certainly think you could watch this, but you don't have to see Ghost Dimension and see
No,
Next
No,
of
no, no.
Kin,
No,
which
I
you
probably
mean it's
nobody has seen.
the
yeah.
same concept. Just a different demon. I guess you would say.
And did y'all like the artwork that was on that the wood door thing, like with the demon split
Oh yeah.
painting that they had? I love that kind of
Satanic
stuff.
satanic Amish. I mean, you can't
Yeah,
go wrong with
yeah.
that.
Oh, those aren't real Amish. You know, you open up a closet and there's a laptop and like
Oh,
there's a
that got
router
me.
in there.
That got me. I wasn't expecting that,
Yeah,
man.
me either.
I knew that the family. And here's one thing. I think that there could be um, some people that will say, "Oh, I saw this coming a mile away." What the blah. With some parts of the movie, I don't think it was any surprise whatsoever. I think the audience should know right from the start. Going to this Amish community was going to be bad. I mean, that's the plot of the movie. But what I thought they did so well was the small twists in what happened with
Yeah.
the ending and stuff. So I do applaud. This could honestly, on a couple rewatches, this could beat out another entry, maybe 3 or the marked ones. I don't know. I like the first 4. I mean, I like the first 3 and the marked ones quite a bit, but certainly I think this is a far step above Ghost Dimension and probably 4.
Yeah, definitely 4 and Ghost Dimension better than those. Yeah.
It's making me want to watch it again. Us talking about it.
Yeah. I think it was. Go ahead, Dan. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna say, like, I actually think I enjoy ghost hunting more than ghost hunting movies.
I'm sure.
Weird that way.
Yeah. I was glad to see this happen, though. I think these franchises like this, Paranormal Activity, it's a to me, it's kind of like what the hell kind of franchise. I enjoy them. I think there's
Mhm.
nothing. It's harmless to make more of these, and I applaud Paramount for saying, you know what, let's give them one more. To hell with it. It is the 7th one, I guess.
Fuck, keep them coming, man. As far as
Yeah.
I'm concerned.
It's so easy to make these movies. I can't imagine it'll probably be a staple, if not a TV series. I'm sure you'll see multiple more Paranormal Activities on Paramount Plus, because I'm sure it's doing quite well, I would imagine. So yeah,
Mhm.
they'll keep churning these out.
Yeah, I'm totally fine with that. So, how about
Mhm.
we'll wrap it up here, guys? Let's go on a scale of 1 to 10 on a found footage ranking of 1 to 10, not a movie regular. I think found footage ranking we can kind of, you know, let's call if we're gonna say Paranormal Activity 1 is a 10 as our scale. Where would you guys kind of sit next of kin? I kind of got it at about a right at a 6. Maybe a 5 or a 6. Just pretty damn good. I'll go 6 for that ending. I'll bring it to a 6 for that ending.
I can give it a generous 6 on a found footage scale. Like I said, that big one is just the camera angle for me. Some people forgive it. I just
Yeah.
I have to knock off a little.
I kind
bit.
of forget, man. I get lost in the movie, so I don't
Mhm.
really think about that aspect of it anymore.
Yeah.
I'd probably go a little higher than you guys. I go maybe an 8 on a
There you
found
go.
footage scale.
Found footage. That's cool. All right, guys. So there it is. That is the Paranormal. Well, I'm gonna call this video Paranormal Activity discussion and next of kin review because it was fun talk. We had to talk about the other movies. Dan and Jay, thank you guys for doing this with me. I figured, what the hell? Let's get some friends on these. Dan, where can everybody find you?
Flesh Wound features on YouTube and Flesh Wound Radio on Twitter. Flesh Wound Dan if you want to follow me separately.
And you guys, Flesh Wound's all on Spotify, iTunes, and all that too, right?
We're pretty much everywhere at this point. Yeah.
Cool. And Jay the Stingray, where can we find Jay the Stingray?
Pretty much everywhere social. I'm Jay the Stingray, and YouTube, Jay the Stingray. This Wednesday, I should be having another commentary. Try to do those every Wednesday night, so stay tuned.
Yeah, those are wild. Those are the Wild West commentaries. I'm on a lot of those. So
Yeah,
if anybody's, all right, guys.
they're out there.
Yeah. Thank you guys for watching this video. Let us know your thoughts on Paranormal Activity: Next of Kin. What a weird title. We'll see you guys next time.
See ya.